networks are trying to do is to improve the quality of Mexico's illiberal democracy, to use Fareed Zakaria's term, to contribute to stop political regression and to exercise from Mexico's new and incipient democracy the old demons of corruption, patrimonialism, rent-seeking that still run rampant throughout Mexico. And I think that the success of Yo Soy 132 was to put these issues at center stage and provide an incentive for change. Because one of the more perverse things about Mexico's democracy is that the incentives for change from above are few or non-existent. This is a system that has no re-election whatsoever for any political position. So it basically promotes a system of elite rotation with very few incentives for actual representation and accountability. So to quote Barack Obama, he once said in his presidential campaign, the first one, that power never concedes without a battle from below. And what social networks are trying to do in Mexico is to wage the battle from below, because that's where the only incentives for change are actually going to come from. They are not going to come from a political class that has a very comfortable situation, cartloads of public money, and basically zero accountability. Now, what are the perils for social networks and for Yo Soy 132 in the post-election context? Because the PRI ended up winning despite the fact that there was this mobilization from below. Peña Nieto will be Mexico's next president. I think there are several risks. One is the risk of radicalization, of the student movement going too far to the left and joining forces with other social movements that have not had enough success in garnering support from urban elites and from the urban middle class, that I think will be the real force for change in Mexico. I think the second peril is irrelevance, that the movement becomes too many things to too many people, that it loses its foundational idea, the one that catalyzed so much support in the beginning, and it had to do with media control, something that most Mexicans can relate to and systematically oppose. And I think the third peril, and this may resonate with some of my Egyptian colleagues, is the democratic nature of the movement itself. It's very hard for this movement to make decisions, because there is a multitudinous horizontal structure that leads to constant assembleísmo, constant assemblies to reach even the smallest of decisions as to how to react to a news cycle or how to propose public policy for legislative debate. And I feel that the movement may end up being eaten by its assembleísmo, by the horizontal nature of its structure. But I think the value going forward, if Yo Soy 132 survives, is that it's teaching Mexicans about its rights. One of, I think, the worst legacies of 71 years of dominant party rule was to leave behind a country of people who don't understand their rights. They don't know how to exercise them. They haven't been trained in the habits of the heart that Tocqueville spoke about, that build social capital in a democracy. They are passive, apathetic. They don't know how to participate. And Yo Soy 132 is creating new models of participation, of accountability, and of recovering the public space that has been so dominated by political and economic elites and political parties in Mexico. So I think therein lies the hope for Yo Soy 132 if it is able to surmount its internal and external difficulties and continue to be a catalyst for change in Mexico.
Thank you, Denise. Now we have till 6 o'clock, so we have a long time, and we may finish earlier than that. But we have a few more speakers, and we're going to move also to